Hey, everyone. Aloha. It's Brother Richie. We are wrapping up the season. Basically, I might do a show next week, a little more wrap up. So, for those of you who didn't know, I actually called both games live, radio style, on Sunday. So, I didn't take a whole lot of notes, but we will talk about both games a little bit. Just want to look at the head coaching situation, hires, non-hires yet in the NFL, and just a little bit of Super Bowl preview. This is going to be a short one. I'm only going to probably go 15, 20 minutes today. But it's Brother Richie live from the middle of the Pacific Ocean. This is your backseat quarterback. Hit the music. No, I'd have got my Mr. Sunshine going. Well, season's about over. Just, August. So the Super Bowl ends February, whatever, 3rd or 5th last year. And doesn't like March, April, May, June, and July just seems to crawl by. And baseball, I love the playoffs. NBA love the playoffs, but I'm not just every single day, notes and following and gambling, all that just doesn't do it for me. I mean, I do love the playoffs pretty good. But the NFL from August 1st, preseason, I don't watch a lot, but I'm full bore, studying, watching, and, they do have some good offseason stuff. Free agency period is great. Combine's pretty good. But you kick off on September 4th or 5th or 7th, whenever. And the next thing you know, you blink an eye and it's the eve of the Super Bowl. I mean, the weeks just fly by. There's Monday night and then there's Tuesday, Wednesday, and then all of a sudden there's a game on Thursday, and then you got some Saturday. College is quite a bit better, I think. NIL, the portal didn't ruin college. It actually probably made it better, but let's get some guardrails. I don't think guys should be transferring. I think they maybe put some rules on it, but it used to be just transfer middle of the season. Give me another million or I'm going to your rival. Shit like that don't fly. But, the season just flies by. There's nothing you can do about it. Almost like a round of golf. You go to the first tee box and the expectations and endless possibilities. Next thing you know, you're on the 16th green going, where the fuck did the day go? But if a job that sucks, you look down at your clock, it's been 7 minutes. It feels like 2 hours. So bye-bye football season. Hope everybody had a good one. I pretty much dead broke even with fantasy. Maybe lost a little gambling. I gambled a little more than normal this year. But let's get into it. Super Bowl is set. New England and Seattle. Seattle, I think they open at 5.5. Let's see. NFL 4.5. I think the line moved. Anyway. I'll go into just a quick preview of the Super Bowl end of the show. I'd probably go take the points. I will say this later, but kind of reminds me of over under 46. I think definitely over there, but kind of reminds me of New England's first Super Bowl against the Rams. Everybody's talking Rams, greatest show on turf. New England with Brady, first year. They don't really even have a chance. I think that was like a 13, 14 point spread. Kept it low scoring and beat them. So I want to start off So I don't know if few people I know listen, but I wish I'd have been doing this earlier in the season. But I called both games radio style, which was my dream job as a kid. I had two guys. I had the Portland Trailblazers, Bill Shawnsley, Bill Shawnley, Rip City, and he did all the Blazer games. My whole childhood was amazing. You know, uh, you can keep what's his name, Lakers can keep him. Bill Shawnley, and then I had Daryl Ani for the Beavers football and basketball, and he did solo, no color guy. So I had those two guys. They were my idols. They were my heroes growing up. And, I would turn the game on when they were on. They weren't on a whole lot back then. Game on, sound down, radio on. So that was, my dream job. And I thought about it earlier in the season, but, sometimes it's just, you have to take that first step to your dream. But so I did 2 games the fourth quarter of the divisional round. And then on the conference championships, I did both games. I did radio style, call every play. Commercials, I mostly took a break. That's a lot of filler time. But I think it went pretty good. I had my friend Maddie got kind of buzzed, and that was probably just need to be on my own from now on. But yeah, I didn't take a whole lot of notes. We will talk about the games a little bit, though. Want to wrap up the season a little bit, too. Don't become a weatherman. Because my predictions are so terrible. Enjoyed listening to the first game, although don't become a weatherman. Oh yeah, that's true. Bro, I have a couple different apps that I look at, and it said 5-mile-an-hour wind and 20 degrees and no big deal. I don't think anybody saw a blizzard coming in the second half of that Denver New England game. But I'll be a weatherman out here. 75 to 80, windward and Malka showers. Every day. 80 degrees and windward and Malka showers. Hawaii. I got a question. I might have asked this during my broadcast. When the ball goes out of bounds and, not in the last 5 minutes of the half or the game, when do they restart the clock? Exactly. Because sometimes it goes out of bounds. It seems like they just stop it for a second and then they roll it. Sometimes it's 2-3 seconds. Sometimes feels like it's 5-6 seconds. So, what is the exact rule? I thought it was when you replace the ball. And the 40-second clock, is a little long play clock. What if the clock stops until the official sets the ball, and then he runs the clock, and then it's a 25-second play clock? And then I have 4 rules for the rules committee to really look into, and one of them is, how about fourth quarter, the clock stops anytime the ball goes out of bounds? Because with the 40-second play clock, and when the clock runs right when the ball's out of bounds, a team's up by 4 points. They get the ball with 9 minutes left. They get like 2 first downs. There's 3 minutes left. Seems like the fourth quarter especially just flies by. And the team that's behind has a huge disadvantage. And, just make the game a little longer. It's going to be 5 to 10 more plays. Oh, well. Deal with it. There was a day before I don't know what year in the 90s, 80s, and 70s for sure. The ball went out of bounds. They don't start the clock until the ball is until the ball is snapped. That used to be the way. So I just want to know exactly. I mean, it seems super arbitrary and pretty inconsistent to me. We had both games came down to a fourth down decision. And I wasn't a huge fan of both. And, I like the aggressive nature. And quite frankly, it's quite a bit of ego, really. On the fourth down, Dan Campbell, I think, started it last 4 or 5 years, just the go for it culture on fourth down. And I love being aggressive, and I love, it shows faith in your offense, and it shows faith in your defense, and it shows faith in yourself and your play calling. And analytics, I don't know where the fuck analytics comes from, because you never heard of analytics even 10 years ago. Now it's just look at the sheet. Oh, analytics says. And I think it's just a crutch for coaches to make dumbass decisions. Hey, the book said to do it. I don't know where they get these analytics, but definitely Denver with your backup quarterback. And, it's fourth down and it's 1 yard, and you do have the best offensive line. So why you rolling your guy out, your backup QB that's not that athletic? You're rolling him out on 4th and 1. I mean, I'd rather maybe get on the ball, quick count, and drive off the ball and maybe run the ball, even though up the gut idiots, 0 gap, 0 brains. But you're at home. You're up 7-0. It's looking to be a low-scoring game. New England's offense hasn't done shit. You have a chance to go up 10-0. You don't know a blizzard's coming. If you knew a blizzard's coming, I think you're kicking that field goal 100%. But chance to go up 10-0 midway through the second quarter, and New Orleans offense hasn't done shit. They only scored 10 points the whole game. And you have no way of knowing that you're only going to gain like 50 more yards the rest of the game, 2.5 quarters. Just sometimes, just eat your ego and kick a field goal. Plenty times. And I hate kickers and I hate field goals. I'd take the goalposts out almost. You just go for it or punt. I think that'd be kind of exciting too. Or, first quarter goalpost, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, overtime. Just every quarter, crank them down a little bit. Ooh, yes. More rules committee. Slimmer field goal uprights. And higher. So, yeah. I mean, I understand McVay's because you really haven't stopped them. That's a high-scoring game. You haven't stopped Seattle a whole lot. There's 5.5 minutes left. You kick a field goal, you're still down 1. But, I mean, you got to trust your 4th and 4 is tough. It seems like McVay's getting the benefit of the doubt because, we just love McVay, and he's great at the, he's great at the post game, and maybe he's a little more respected. Sean Payton's starting to come off like a curmudgeon, and so we kind of bury him. It seems like the media giving him way more shit, and his was only 4th and 1 in the second quarter. I mean, McVay's, I was tripping. 4th and 4, bro. Kick the field goal. Then it's 1 point. That's more pressure on Seattle to do something. I mean, you don't get that, and not a great play. I know Kyron Williams was, he did a little wheel route out of the backfield, and it was broken coverage that happened to double team Kyron. That was their first choice, was to go to the backfield, to the back out of the backfield, but he was double covered because it was a coverage breakup, because there's no way you're double teaming. I think the D lineman peeled off when he was maybe supposed to rush. So that threw a wrench into the whole system early. And they dropped 9 guys. So they're covering 4 or 5 guys with 9 players. They only rush 3, but in that situation, when you're that close to the end zone. So I think McVay definitely is kick a field goal, put the pressure on Seattle. If you're only up 1, and then, the momentum in the crowd, when you don't make that 4th down, that kind of changes the whole complex of that final drive. Kick the field goal, kick off, and make your defense stop them, even if they kick a field goal. You're still in the same position you were. And I know you didn't get the ball back till 25 seconds left. And what's Kyron Williams doing calling a fair catch at the 6-7 yard line, bro? What's the difference between that and the 2 or the 1? You got to let that thing go and get it. Hopefully get it. If you're at the 20 compared to the 7, that's a huge deal with 25 seconds left. I just don't understand these fair catches, man. And because Smith, the other guy, fumbled twice. One he got himself. So they have Kyron back there, but on that situation, I think you stand your feet at like the 12-yard line. Anything over your head, you take the chance. So end of the game, not coached real well. I think McVay gets the benefit of the doubt because he's just more well-liked. But both instances, Denver definitely go up 10-0 in a low-scoring game when your defense is dominating at home. And Rams 4th and 4. You're down 4 points, bro. That means if you don't get it, you have to score a touchdown. When do they measure anymore? Remember with the chain gang, it seems like you get it at like once or twice or 3 times a weekend. I think I saw 3 or 4 only of the they have the mechanical or overhead on the screen technological measure now. I only saw that 3 or 4 times. I watch Red Zone. I watch as much of every game as I can. There were a good 4 different occasions where that's got to be a measure. He might be short up. Just move the chains. First down us. I don't know. Move the chains. My Vegas took a little beating. Maybe it's because not unlike the Super Bowl last year and the Swifties and the officials, a lot of people I hear a lot on social media. Oh, it's rigged, and the underdogs are going to win because 80% of the money is on the favorites. Vegas took a beating this week. If there were questionable calls, they all went in. They all win against Vegas. So maybe it's Vegas saying, hey, it's not rigged. We made our $30 billion over the season and rigged the shit out of it. But in this biggest moments, no. Look, we don't rig it. You guys can win a little money. When do you run this clock or stop the clock on OB? I'd rather just go back. Games would be a lot longer, but if they just stop the clock until it snaps on out of bounds, I think definitely should be the clock is stopped until the official marks the ball, then maybe 30-second play clock. If you have time to huddle up as the officials get, and there's a scrum on out of bounds, because the play clock starts right then too, but sometimes it doesn't start for a second or 2, 5 seconds. I think it'd be a lot more clear. So that's a super gray area. And I think the home timer too, oh, we're down. Okay, let's pause it for another second or 2. Oh, we're ahead. Okay, right away. Incontrovertible. Yeah. I think the Rams undoing, and it's not talked about much, was they forced a Seattle punt with a minute. What was the score? Minute 30 left in the half. And this is when, because they're getting the ball back. Oh no, Seattle's going to get the second half kickoff. So it was 17. So Rams are up 13-10. And they get the ball back. And they know that the Seahawks are getting the second half kickoff. So critical moment of the game. They get the ball back with 1:30 left at their own 20. To me, this was the turning point in the game. They're up 13-10. So, pretty good field position. Chance to go down, score a touchdown, kick a field goal, at least, run some clock and punt. They go 5-yard run. They call a timeout. Now the clock's at 1:23. Second down, third down, incomplete passes into traffic. Not great. I think you run the ball again. That first down is the toughest to get out of a drive when there's short time left. But they punted the ball with like 1:12. And then they gave up the touchdown right before the half, and then Seattle got the ball. That, to me, that was the most crucial moment of the game. You're up 3 with the ball with 1.5 left, and you go down 4 at half. And then the drop punt. Just 4, 5, 6 plays a game is always the deciding factor. Turnovers. And once again, both games, turnovers. 2 turnovers to 0. Denver had 2. Rams had 1. Both winning teams had 0. 85% on the season. If you have less turnovers, you win the game. What is wrong with kicking field goals these days? And I hate kickers. Fucking hate them. They have one job. And then New England punter, you have 2 jobs. One of them is to hold, and the other one is to punt. These fucking guys hardly ever, they have to try to tackle once in a while, and it's just a clown show. But they never have to block. They don't run sprints in practice. They don't get hit. They don't have to tackle. They have one fucking job, is kick the fucking ball. And, they're mostly pretty good, but when the pressure's on, you make the fucking kick. And just attempt the kick. I mean, what's wrong with kicking field goals these days? Especially in low-scoring games, and every game comes down to 2, 3, 4 points is the final spread. So those 3 points, I'm going to talk about the rules committee there's 4 things we really, really need to look at. Tush push has to be out. Any push. It's got to be gone. I got some examples. Rams gave up just too many third down and long, especially in the second half. I think they had 2 3rd and 8s and longer on that final drive. Sam Darnold both quarterbacks played amazingly well. Stafford, 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and lose. I think it's the greatest game ever by a quarterback to lose, basically in the playoffs. Rams, and it was a point of contention all year, was special teams, and then their defense really struggled the last 6 weeks, and look what comes back to haunt you. The things that are an issue, Cowherd always says it, you don't have to be great at everything, but you can't be bad at even one thing. So you notice in the Super Bowl, great coach, rookie contract quarterback. New England. Seattle, great coach, team-friendly deal. 3 years for $100 million. Darnold took $33 million. I think it's time, and somewhere we got to stop the madness of paying quarterbacks $50, $60, $70 million a year. Mahomes didn't make the playoff. Buffalo, depleted roster because they're paying their quarterback. Cincinnati doesn't make the playoffs, paying their quarterback. Lamar Jackson, depleted defense because they're paying their quarterback. Denver, look at the Final Four. Denver, not paying a quarterback. Great coach. Rams, even Stafford, team-friendly deal. Great coach. Highest paid quarterbacks, Tua, Trevor Lawrence. Is there a common theme here? You spend all your money on a quarterback, doesn't matter when you can't afford a good offensive line. You can't pick up a center and a guard. You can't go get that cornerback you need that's $100 million. So I think it's got to stop. The madness has to stop. And it's got to be one guy who's the next quarterback up and just say, we're giving you $40 million, take it or leave it. And call it collusion, but all the owners just say, we're not paying more than $40 million for a quarterback. It's plenty of money. We'll give you guaranteed 5 years, $40 million, $200 million guaranteed. You could get hurt tomorrow. You get $200 million. We're not giving you 50. We're not giving you 55. We're not giving you 60 million. Look at Purdy, $51 million. It's the death knell of your franchise. Pay your quarterback. You can't afford what you need to surround him. So that's pretty much the wrap up. I mean, great games, close games. I'll be calling the first quarter of the Super Bowl. I'm going to a kid-friendly party, so gonna mostly hang out. I think I'll do the first quarter. But keep an eye out. I will definitely be calling some NBA playoff games. That'll be fun. I love the NBA playoffs. I know most of the players. I'll tighten that up. Basketball's fun to call. More excitement, more amazing plays. Football has a bomb or two, broken tackle, long run here and there, but mostly it's just up the gut for 3. Basketball for 3 hits again. Head coaching hires. I'm going to go top to bottom of my grades on the head coaching hires. 9. I mean, there's always 6 or 7, 9. Almost a quarter of the league. More than a quarter. Almost a third of the league fired their head coach this year. And I also want to talk about who hasn't made a hire yet and just what are you waiting for? Imagine that. Arizona, Cleveland, and the Raiders. What's their history been the last 10 years? Wah, wah, wah. Hey, guys, Harbaugh's available. Stefanski, Jesse Minter's gone. Robert Saleh. Oh, I don't know what we're waiting on. I guess Dayball is about the only guy left, and then a bunch of Davis Webbs and some coordinators you never heard of. And just, don't you got to start hiring your staff too? I mean, what are we waiting for? What are you waiting for? Are you waiting? Maybe there's a coordinator on one of the Super Bowl teams you want, but Kubiak. I don't know. Rotsa Rock with the Steel. Going to be a playoff team right away. Got all the talent. I think John Harbaugh to the Giants. Rookie quarterback that's pretty good and loves football, and I think they'll get along great. D-line, weapons. So I give Harbaugh. Kevin Stefanski in Atlanta. 2-time coach of the year. With who? Cleveland. He interviewed for like 9 jobs. You probably made a mistake when you hire a coach and he just interviews everywhere and everybody wants him. He was hired like the next day, Atlanta. I think he'll fix Penix. I like Penix. Just defensive-minded coach. Rarely works, although we do have defensive-minded coaches in the Super Bowl for the first time since Belichick, basically. So Stefanski, fix Penix. You got all the weapons you need. Defense looked pretty good. Probably could use some O-line help. The draft, some free agency, but I think Atlanta looks really good. Jesse Minter for Baltimore. Although, oh no, that's Halfley. So Minter, he took Chargers just shit D, made him one of the top in the league. They were ranked number 1 for a while, so love that hire. Depends on the OC. It's going to be Daboll if the Raiders don't hire him, which I would advise that. You got the number 1 pick. You got your franchise quarterback coming out, Mendoza. So I like Minter in Baltimore. Robert Saleh, the more you fail in New York, the better you look almost. He was with the Jets. They hired him. They fired him. They were 3-2. They had a chance to be tied for the lead a couple years ago. They fired him like week 6 on a Wednesday on a game when they could have been 4-2. Then Jeff Ulbrich, and then, what are the Jets doing? 15 years now since they even made the playoffs. Unbelievable. There's teams with 3-4 Super Bowl wins since they last made the playoffs. Playoffs? Don't talk playoffs. Mike McCarthy in Pittsburgh just uninspired. Zero, creativity. Oh, he's a Pittsburgh guy. What does it matter if you're from a city? Because where the good burger shop is? He's a Pittsburgh guy through and through. He grew up there. What does that fucking matter? Maybe he'll be good. He's an offensive. They need offense. Spend all their money on defense. That's like ranked 30th. So, and voices just get stale. Is what's his name from Pittsburgh? Is he not just going to take a year off because you don't hear him in any of these? So we'll see. And then Jeff Hafley with the Dolphins. Green Bay defensive coordinator, sure great. 4 years before that, he was at Boston College head coach. You want to hear his record in college? At Boston College, ACC, I believe. 22-26 as a head coach in college. 2 years as a Green Bay defensive coordinator, and they were okay. And that's your head coach in Miami. So, and good luck, Arizona, Cleveland, and Vegas. Fuck's his name, dude? 58-year-old moments. Kubiak, yes, that's who you guys are waiting for. I mentioned that. They'll wait for Kubiak, the Raiders, and then Cleveland will offer him more money. And it'll be Cleveland, of all people. Dude. Yeah, Tomlin. Is Tomlin just taking a year off for sure? Tomlin might be good in Arizona. Tomlin might be good in Cleveland. Great coach. Just 18 years, the voice gets stale. Nothing you can do about it. Okay, I got 4 or 5 things for the rules committee. And the number one is at least the tush push 100%. Please, I'm begging you, get rid of that shit. Even Philly barely runs it anymore. It's a fucking joke. Every time I see it, I want to fucking puke. And you can't officiate it correctly. How many 25 false starts on Philly when they were still running it a lot that the officials just can't call because you can't see it. Everything's so bunched up. You don't know where the ball is. I can't remember who they were playing. Tush push hurts. And he's in the pile and he kind of spins off the pile. There's no whistle at all. And they even admitted there's no whistle. He fumbles. Other team picks it up and goes for a touchdown. No, forward progress, but not a whistle, but forward progress. You don't know where the fucking ball is. You can't place the ball correctly. People are jumping early. Oh, yeah, and the fiasco 2 years in the playoffs in Washington. And Bretta kept jumping over trying to time, and they said, if they do this again, we're just going to award the offense a touchdown. Have you ever heard of that? That the officials just give a team a touchdown. So just get the shit out. Even the people that voted for it last year and that are proponents of it, I even think Kyle Brandt's over it. He was a huge proponent. If you can't stop it, just fucking figure it out. It sucks. Get the fucking tush push out. Anybody disagree with me this day and age, let me know. Tush push got to go. Picking up a ball carrier when you're an offensive guard and carrying him 10 yards Get that shit out too. No propulsion, no pushing, no helping a ball carrier, period. It's on your own merit. The yards you get are your own yards, not your offensive lineman pushing you, period. And in up to 05, it was against the rules. Who was the brilliant guy? Hey, I got a great idea. This rule, let's let them push each other. So just get any pushing, but especially please the tush push. Please, please, I'm begging you. Number 2, instant replay, consistency. I mean, can we go frame by frame, pixel by pixel on all plays? Because Lord knows on touchdowns, you're stopping it and going right there, the knee's down, and the ball's right there. Here's the goal line. You can see, and here it goes, and his knee is down right there. His knee's down. And then they put it like a foot away. And if you watch it in regular speed, the guy's 3 yards deep in the end zone, and there's absolutely no doubt about it. And it's called a touchdown on the field. How about stick to incontrovertible evidence without even a fraction of a doubt? If there's any doubt, 30 seconds, you can look at the replay for 30 seconds, and if you can't come up with something, then so. And if we're going pixel by pixel like we do around the end zone, then Brandon Cooks, that interception in Denver, that's a catch. If we're going pixel by pixel and the knee is down right there and the ball, if that was at the end zone, that's a catch. So which is it? Are we doing pixel by pixel, frame by frame? Are we doing only half speed? What if we did just, it has to be half speed or quicker? None of this. Click, click, knee down. If they ruled the way they do around the end zone on Brandon Cook's interception with McLaughlin, that's a catch, period. So do we want to have some consistency on play-by-play or, which is my thought, is it's a way to manipulate the outcome of the game for big gambling money. So just keep it as it is. So we'll probably just keep it as it is and just say our ball. Consistency on starting the clock out of bounds. I talked about that a lot today. Is it 1 second? Is it 2 seconds? Is it 3 seconds, 5 seconds after it goes out of bounds? Nobody really knows. Is it up to the home clock operator? Even though those should be nonpartisan on the clock. So I say ball goes out of bounds, the clock stops until the official sets the ball, run the clock, and then it's 30-second play clock. How about that? Or 25. I mean, it's 25 in the final 5 minutes, right? That's plenty of time because the ball goes out of bounds. There's a scrum. The guy gets tackled. You get time to get back to the huddle. It's going to be another 5 to 10 seconds before they actually place the ball. Clock is stopped. Then you get 25 seconds. And in the fourth quarter, the entire fourth quarter, not just the last 5 minutes, ball's out of bounds, clock is stopped. Give the trailing team that's on defense a chance. Because that 40 seconds, and they don't go out of bounds a whole lot when you're trying to run out the clock. But if they do, just stop the clock. Whole fourth quarter. Oh, and then slim down the field goals from here, maybe to here. Or I love first quarter, second quarter, third quarter. And there's actually a guy goes out there and it says first quarter, second quarter, a third, and then overtime. Nothing more exciting than a fourth down play in overtime. Game on the line. And if the field goal is like that, they're not probably kicking a 45-yarder. So that's my 4 rules committee. Get the tush out. Any kind of push out, but especially tush push. That's number. I mean, if they don't do anything else, that's fine. instant replay consistency? Is it click by click? Is it frame by frame? Is it half speed? I mean, this plays half speed, this plays frame by frame. Or just keep it the same because it's a great manipulation of the game tactic. Starting the clock out of bounds. And narrower field goals. Well, we got the Super Bowl coming. Did I actually go 40 minutes? I was only going to go 20. Guess I'm getting decent at this. You know, sometimes I watch Cowherd guys. They go 3 hours and they say a lot of cool stuff. So it's not an easy gig. Super Bowl, I'm taking the points. I'm taking the over. I think New England might have the better defense. They say Seattle has this great defense. They've been giving up points. But I take over 46 and just such a well-coached team, Vrabel. And you know he's going to be using – for 2 weeks, they're going to hear about how Seattle's way better and they're going to get – I hear plenty of guys saying blowout. You hear that shit enough and you're pissed enough, and I think that has some effect on the game. So New England with the points, 4.5, 5.5, whatever. If it's 2 points. I mean, if it goes under 3, I might take Seattle, but only 15% of games does the spread even come into play anyway. So I'll say a close game. Take the points. Maybe take the money line, New England, and definitely on the over, I think. I wish I could go. I wish Kyle Brandt would have chosen my angry runs picture. Me with a coconut, stepping on broken surfboards with palm trees and shit, and that wasn't enough to win an angry runs photo. I don't know what is. I saw the shit. They got dogs and shit, and I had little kids and broken surfboards and a coconut and an angry run shirt, and I couldn't win. So kind of like F off. Anywho, we are out. We'll talk probably not next week, and we'll wrap up the whole Super Bowl. Brother Richie, aloha. Rah.